Hello friends, this is a part 4 of the lecture series. In this video we are going to see these three topics. For the first topic, solution to the previous two questions. Since the last video we had this code and the question was like this. Find the largest number among three numbers. And I told you to use this or this or this logical operations with if-else condition. So I'm just modifying this particular code. Let's say my A is 1, B is 2 and C is equals to 3. Now I'm going to write this code, the logic of this code. So I'm using if condition. Now I'm checking if A is greater than B and B is greater than C. It means A is the largest. Why it is largest? Now say taking this example, 1 is greater than 2 and 2 is greater than 3. So 1 is greater than 3, which is a false statement. So this condition will get false. And say if my example was like this, int a is equals to 10, b is equals to 4, 5 and c is equals to 3. So in that case, 10 is greater than 5 and 5 is greater than 3, therefore 10 is greater than 3 also. So in that case, this condition will be true. Similarly, so if this condition is false, so I am writing else if b is greater than a and b is greater than and a is greater than c, therefore b is greater than c also. So I'm writing, I'll just go with this thing, b is the largest, else I'm writing else if both of these conditions are false, it means c is the largest. Now just save it. If I compile it and run it, so it is saying c is the largest, which is the correct thing. And now if I comment this and uncomment this thing, and now it is saying a is the largest. Okay, so in this case, using this logical AND, we successfully find out which of the number is the largest among three given numbers. Now moving on to the next part, which is a switch case statement. Why we need to learn this switch case statement is because in if else condition, if first condition is false, it has to go to the second condition. If it is also false, then it has to go to the third condition. The following of if else is long. If there are multiple, suppose 10 to 15 if else condition and the last one is only true, but it has to check from the first till the 14 condition. So to overcome this drawback, we are using switch case statement. What switch case actually do is int choice. So choice is what a user enter, and over this choice we have to put the switch statement. So switch is working with the case here. So my case 1, so this 1 comes from actually choice. Now suppose if my choice is 0, it will go to the case 0. If my choice is 1, it will go to the case 1. Now suppose my choice is 1, so it goes to case 1, it will do something and then break. This break statement is necessary here, and why it is necessary I'll let you know in some time. Similarly, if my choice is 2, it will go to case 2, and if my choice is suppose 4 and 4 is not here in any case, so it will goes to the default. So this break statement is followed by semicolon, while the case 1, the number, the case keyword followed by the choice is followed by this colon sign. So let's see the example. So this is the example that I had worked for you. So in this, It is asking for a user to enter an operation choice, say ch. Okay, and for this ch is actually my choice, which is in integer kind. I'm putting the switch over the ch and writing case here. So earlier, if we are not using this switch case, we have to use this if else condition. And for a is equals to 6, it has to check everything from the beginning. Okay, let's clear this screen. Okay, now I'm going to compile this particular code. Okay, once it is compiled, I'm going to, okay, so enter your choice. Now suppose I enter this 5, it print you entered 5. Now suppose if I entered 6, it prints 6. So you see, it doesn't follow any of this thing, and it directly jumps to this particular case. Now suppose if I give something which is not present in this case, let's say 8, it print you entered a wrong choice, which is a default behavior of this code. Now why this break statement is necessary? First see what happens if we just commit this particular break statement. Let's say this. Now I clear this screen and compiled it, run it. So enter your choice. Now suppose I enter a choice 2. So you see what it did, since it print this first thing successfully, you entered 2, it again there is no break statement, so it fall to this also. It printed this line and again this line here. So this break statement is necessary to break the switch after the successful case run and goes to outside of the switch. Suppose if I didn't remove this and you entered in case 2, entered case 1. Okay, so it will now print both case 1 and case 2 even if I give only choice 1. So now I'm giving choice 1, so by default it has to print this thing, and now it is printing both case this line and this line. Therefore this break statement is very necessary in switch case for its correct behavior. Now after the switch case, we'll move to loops. So what loops do? Now suppose if my demand is to print certain statement or do some operation multiple times. Let's say print hello world 15 times. So what generally you are going to do is like printf /n hello world this, and you're going to copy this like 15 times. But this thing is very tedious and we are not going to use, so we introduce a loop. So what loop do? Just write the sentence first time and just process it again and again. So the first in C, the loop is of three type: for loop, while loop and do while. So first we are going to see for loop. The syntax for loop is like this: for variable initialization, condition on that variable, and then variable increment or decrement. For example, int I, this is my variable declaration. Int I equals to 1, you can either create int I outside of for loop or you can write within this round bracket. So here for int I equals to 1, so it is declaration and initialization both for this variable I. The condition on this variable is less than 10. It means I will start from 1 and goes to less than 10 with the help of this I plus plus. What it will do, this I plus plus, I plus plus is equivalent to I is equals to I plus 1. So add plus 1 in this I and update the value of I. Okay. So it's the same thing. It's a shorthand representation of I equals to I plus 1. Or you can even write it. You can write it as I plus equals to 1. Okay. So in C, this is called an increment operator, I plus plus. Similar to I plus plus, we have I minus minus, which is a decrement. So both of these operations are called post increment operation, which suggests that first use the value of I, then increment. Similarly to the post, we have pre increment or decrement. So decrement is for this minus minus. So this is, we call it as, represented as plus plus I or minus minus I. So what it suggests is, this value suggests like first use then increment, first use then decrement. It suggests first increment then use, first decrement then use. That is pre. So here we are using pre post increment I plus plus and printf hello world. So let's see the example. So this is the example in which this first line is just for better display. Now I'm declaring it within a for loop. For int I equals to 1, it will start from 1, I is less than that, it will go till 10 and I plus plus, printing hello world from for loop. And here I'm printing this I, which tells me at what sequence we are. So just compile this one and okay. So it prints 1 till 9. Why till 9? Because it is less than 10, not less than equals to 10. Now suppose if I do less than equals to and GCC run it, now it is printing till 10. So here you see only one line can print it 10 times with the help of this particular for loop. Now similar to this for loop, we have another loop in C which is a while loop. So while loop is different in syntax. So the syntax is like variable declaration. In for we can declare outside or inside, but in while it is strictly like that we have to declare variable outside int I equals to 1, which is outside this while. Now the condition go within this while body, while I is less than 10 with this round bracket, and then the body. The increment operation that we are doing with the for within this round bracket now is going within the while loop body I plus plus here. Let's see example for this also here. So again, so this line is same. Here I'm declaring and initializing a variable outside a while loop. So once the program is saved, we are going to compile it and execute it. So you can see here we have this I is less than equals to 10. So we are printing the 10 statements here. So this is a simple while program and the increment is doing here at this point I plus plus, or you can write it as I plus equals to 1, or you can write it as I equals to I plus 1. So, so all these three statements will work similar to each other, so there's no problem here. So moving on for the next part, which is a do while loop. So do while is different from a while loop. In this, what we are going to do, we are declaring variable, but we are checking the condition at the last. So int I equals to 1, we are checking while I is less than 10 in the last, not in the beginning. So it started with do something, I plus plus increment, and then while I is less than 10. So moving on and see, we'll see the code of this loop. Similar to this, and I goes to 1. So do while I is less than 10 is written at the bottom followed by a semicolon. So this is something which is different from other loops. Do while termination will happen with the help of the semicolon. So I'll just run this program to show the output. Okay, so we are printing do while loop statements here. Now the one thing which do while is has a different from other is that the minimum number of execution for do while is 1. Even if condition is false, it will run at least one time because we are checking the condition in last. Now suppose I change it with I equals to 10. Since the condition is false, so the for and while loop will break and does not print anything, but the do while loop will print this statement at one time and then it will break. So see, this statement is printed because the condition is checking in the last. So these are the three loops and the switch case statement that we studied in this lecture. So few questions for you is design a code for calculator using switch case. So calculator means the input you are going to take from user is the operation and numbers num1 num2 on which the operation is applied or going to be applied. I'm going to apply. So this is the input. You have to take two number and operation, and you have to print, and the operation will be very easy operation like a plus b, a minus b, a into b, and a divided by b. So in divide, you have to take care that b will not be. So you have to check this condition also, b is not equals to 0 in the divide operation. Okay, so this is the question that you have to do, and we're going to cover the solution of this question in the next video. So till then, thank you.